Hello and welcome to The Pathway. We've got plenty of stories coming your way, including a deep dive into the SGS Netball Academy, a reflection on Daniel Bilasami's American football career, and a look into how esports student Zach balances studying alongside playing professional Overwatch. Later on, I'll be joined in the studio by SGS legend and lecturer Max Baker to talk about sports media. But first, we're starting off with American football, where we've been catching up with quarterback Ash Bailey to discuss his first season at Pride. Jabril has been to find out more.
All right, so Ashley Bailey, the quarterback for the SGS Pride, first year student here, and I've been playing football since I was 12 or 13 years old. I'm professionally since age 18, so yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay, so was moving overseas always a goal, or did it just kind of happen on the spot?
I had no idea that I could travel the world, play football, and that it could be a job. When I first started playing, my only goal was to play for the national team. Coming from a basketball background, I didn't get national team for basketball. And when I switched to football, I was like, I want to play for the country. One of my teammates who was a couple years older than me, Callum Davidson, he doesn't play anymore. He played for the national team. He played for Birmingham Lions, and then he had his first pro contract in Sweden. And so when he went, every day I'm asking him, how's it going? What's the situation like? How'd you get a contract? And really seeing that it's possible from someone close to me led me to go down that route.
So on your first move abroad, did anything surprise you, or was there like any major differences apart from the language barrier?
The main thing is how much free time I actually had outside of practice. It's on me to go to the gym. It's on me to eat right. It's on me to, learn the language. It's on me to watch film. One of the other things was, are you going to be there for your teammates? And are you coachable, and can you coach? A lot of teams will look for you to help coach their local guys, whether it's their youth teams or their younger players coming up. As a professional, you're supposed to be there to help the team and help them for when you're gone. So being able to be coachable and coach is a really big skill that I would say everyone needs to learn.
Okay, so to go along with that, you gave us what they should do.
Mm-hmm.
What mistakes should they avoid?
I think the biggest mistake that guys make, especially Americans, but guys that are good in general, is feeling like they have to do everything in order to make the team win. There's 11 guys on the field at a time. There's 40 to 53 guys on the roster. There's only so much you can do. So just make sure you're doing your job and being accountable for yourself, but also understanding there's only so much you can do. You're professional, but we're not in the NFL. We're not making millions. Teams aren't making millions. So almost lowering the expectations, but bringing up your standards, I would say.
Okay, what is next for you?
Off season, right now I'm slated to be one of the quarterbacks for the national team. The plan is for the national team role of games that I'm either the starter or my plan is to be the starter for the national team. This summer I'm taking a break from Europe, so I should be playing with Bristol Aztecs, one of the best teams in the whole country here. I have some pro contract offers that I've been considering, but I feel this year, with how this season's going, I'd rather take a break, reset, refuel, and get ready for Pride next year. After playing here, the plan is to go into coaching. So setting up quarterback coaching and skills camps for like high school and sixth form age groups. I really feel like the big thing in the UK is quarterback play and quarterback knowledge, and the only way to get better is reps, good reps, and really grow in the sport that way. I don't care if they're on our team or if they're on other teams. The game of football is a lot better when all the quarterbacks are better, and that's what I want it to be like in this country.
Before we finish, is there anything else?
Anything else? Shout out Jabril. Shout out my bro. Shout out all the boys here. Yeah, man. We're doing good. We're doing great. Life's great. Happy to be here. Appreciate it.
Great to hear from Ash there. Moving on to a different academy now. We're taking a closer look into the college's netball course to get an insight on how the programme works with their assistant coach. I've been to find out more.
Hi, my name's Mia. I'm assistant coach of the Netball Academy here at SGS.
At SGS, there's a wide variety of sporting academies, but today we're taking a deeper dive into the college's very own Netball Academy. The academy has seen a lot of local success, from Jen Barrett, who went on to coaching the Welsh Dragons, to Danica Campbell-Lee, who starred in the Netball Super League. Currently, the squad are playing in the Association of Colleges League, playing against some of the best colleges in the UK. Earlier, I spoke to coach Mia Williams all about the season so far and how the programme works.
We have 3 teams in the academy, first team, second team, third team. We have training 3 times a week, so Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, and Wednesdays are our match days. We also have 2 gym sessions a week as well.
How would you say the season's going so far for the team?
It's going really well. All 3 of our teams are in the top 3 on the table, which is really good.
What's been the season highlight for each of the teams?
So for the first team, the season highlight has been their cup run. They had a really successful cup run, and in the cup as well they beat Exeter in extra time, which was a very exciting moment for everyone. For the second team, their season highlight was also in the cup against Truro, who are in the league above them. Even though they lost, they absolutely loved the game and they did so well, and they really showed real strength and determination throughout that game. And for the third team, they have developed so well over the season. They've done really well, and when they got their first win of the season, that was definitely a season highlight for them.
What's been your favourite thing about coaching?
I just love, I love the girls. I love the success that you get from them. Every coaching session's different, and I feel like when you coach this group of girls, they just respond really well and they just make the session fun as well. And I just love seeing them all succeed.
For you personally, how did you first get into netball?
I started playing netball when I was in year 5, so I was about 10, and I've played it ever since. My primary school teacher was like, you need to join a club, and then my secondary school teacher also told me to join a club, and then I joined a club, and then I've been with the same club ever since.
Do you have like a standout moment or a favourite memory from your time with the academy, with like any teams?
I think definitely a highlight is when we do our Christmas morning, when we have our Christmas session. Everyone gets dressed up, we have fun, everyone just looks absolutely silly and crazy because we all just get dressed up in all these Christmas outfits, and we just have a really fun session, so that's definitely one of the highlights throughout the year.
And finally, what advice would you have for anyone wanting to play netball?
I would say just do it. There's so many netball leagues, there's so many divisions, there's so many pathways for netball, so no matter what level you're at, whether it's like beginner, have no idea what you're doing, or absolute pro, there's so much opportunity for people to play netball, so just do it.
It was lovely to speak to Mia earlier, and we wish all of the teams the best of luck for the remainder of the season. Now, I'm delighted to say that I've been joined live in the studio by Max, who's here to talk all about the sports media course. So Max, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
First of all, could you just talk us through the course and how it works?
Yeah, so we have a couple of courses here at the college. So we have a level 3 and an FDA course. So the students come in and they get a bit of a grasp at a lot of different factors of sports media. So we look at video, we look at audio, sports writing, sort of more journalism stuff, and they can follow that pathway for the full 4 or 5 years through level 3 and the degree program.
It's quite a niche form of media, so how did you first get into it?
So I trained as a journalist. That's what I studied at university, and I moved into news journalism first, and then I moved into sports journalism and wrote for local papers and had some like national papers as well. And then I kind of just moved into teaching after that. So yeah, that's how I kind of ended up here.
What made you choose SGS?
Well, it was the job was obviously available, and then when I came down, I wanted to look at kind of the facilities that were available, and I mean the sports facilities here are incredible. So the chance to kind of work with them through a media lens was really exciting.
And finally, what would you say is your favourite thing about teaching on the course?
I'd say I now get more satisfaction from seeing students succeed and students having bylines in newspapers and having things published than I did when I was a journalist. So seeing people make their first steps in an industry is really exciting.
That's brilliant, thank you. It's great to speak to Max there. Time for a short break now. Don't go anywhere.
This course has developed my skills massively. I came into the course with zero media experience, zero hands-on experience, nothing with cameras, nothing with videos, anything like that. And I feel like with the help of the lecturers here, my skills have massively increased. I think the facilities here are pretty top standard. They have production studio, TV studio, everything you can really need. There is so many different options of cameras, mics, sound kits. Get a degree out of something. Also alongside your sport academies, if you play like football, American football, rugby, anything like that, it's pretty perfect.
Our next feature focuses on our very own Daniel Bilasami, part of the team here at the Pathway, but also a professional American football athlete. Daniel will soon be heading to Prague for his next pro contract. Here he is to tell us a little more about his journey, and he'll be joining us in the studio shortly.
How many years have you been playing overseas, and how did it come about?
So I've played 3 seasons overseas, about to go into my 4th, and it came about my first year at Pride. I got some film together on Huddle, and Coach Ben helped me reach out to some teams, but some teams also reached out to me. So in my first year, Swedish Unicorns, they reached out to me. And yeah, I went from there, had a great season over there, met some great people, some great teammates. And I definitely learnt more about the game and how it is a profession and it's not just a hobby, and how you have to watch film, study, work out in your spare time, because there's a lot of spare time. So definitely taught me a lot of things about the game.
How do you feel SGS has been a factor in helping you to launch your professional career?
SGS has been a huge factor. So, as previously mentioned, it was from my first year's film here, and learning what it's like to be an athlete. So, going to the gym, SGS, they have gym sessions, they have field sessions. We even ran some sprint sessions back in the day. So, just knowing how to move and be an athlete, SGS was a huge factor in that. And
I'll add on to that. Do you think you'd be where you are now without SGS?
I feel like I could have been where I was at now without SGS, but with SGS it definitely helped to speed run it. It definitely helped me to bypass a couple of doors, which I'm grateful for. So SGS has been a huge factor, as in it helps get to where you want to go faster.
What are some of the highlights of your professional career so far?
My biggest highlight of my professional career was playing in the German Bowl. There was 22,500 people in attendance. And watching on German television, there was about 667,000 people watching. So, and we won. So lifting up a trophy as big as me in front of 20,000 people was amazing. It was a great experience. It was just great to be a part of. It was a massive thing.
And tell me a little bit about when you signed your first professional contract. How big a deal was that, and then how has that changed? How have things changed since then?
So when I signed my first professional contract, I was actually part-time working at Mackey's. So I got the contract at Mackey's, and I was like, it's such a juxtaposition. It's from signing my first professional contract, I was literally grilling burgers 2 minutes prior. So it's definitely been a juxtaposition. And as the years have gone on, and I've got more contracts, the money's increased, and everything, the pay's increased, the incentives have increased. So just year by year, it just has me proud that I just keep getting better and better as the years go on.
So, to be honest with you, it's where I started. I was born in St Paul's. I had a lot of kids growing up that were, a lot of mates, should I say, growing up, that were in trouble a lot. And I know what a great escape for me sport was. For me at a younger age, my dad dragged me into rugby. so that really helped me, and that's what made it kind of different for me compared with a lot of my friends. And then falling in love with sport kept me disciplined through my kind of teenage years. There was always that kind of carrot to dangle in front of me to keep me in school. You know, if I go to school, if I behaved myself, then my dad would take me to sport at the weekend, and I would get to play in the school sports teams. If I didn't, then those things got taken away from me. So for me, this opportunity allows us to do the same for lots and lots of other kids. I think it's a far too common used phrase that you go into the kind of urban areas to get all the athletes. I don't think that's necessarily true. I just think that you can find some really interesting characters in there that are just looking for that direction that sport gives them. So Daniel's not left us yet, so he's not. I wouldn't say his biggest impact has been left behind us yet. I think that's yet to come. I think when Daniel moves on and he's finally graduated his degree, and we can show other people that have come from the same sort of background that what's possible, and that football gives him the kind of motivation to stay in school and to actually get his degree, which is what he started off trying to get somewhere else and then came to us to kind of complete. As far as a football player, Daniel's definitely blue collar. He works really hard. Once you're getting passionate about the position he's playing, or more so passionate for the people he's playing for, he'll run through a brick wall. I think the biggest thing with Daniel, though, is that as a human being, he's finding himself, and he's finding out who he is and how that impacts other people. And I think his legacy won't necessarily be what Daniel was as a football player. I think it would be what Daniel was as a teammate and what he was as a comrade when we were going through tough times.
I'm now joined in the studio with Daniel to have a little chat all about his future plans in American football. So Daniel, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Just to start off, could you give us a mini timeline of the clubs you've been at and the success you've had with them?
Sure. So I started off my professional career with a team called Schwäbisch. Their mascot was the Unicorns. And then I progressed to a team in Berlin for my second year. They were called the Adler. And then just as of, I'm actually wearing their merch now. And just as of late, I played for a team called Potsdam Royals, which we just won the German national championship in front of 22,000 people. So it was a great achievement.
You've recently signed with Prague Lions in Czechia. Huge congratulations on that. How's preparation going for it?
Yeah, prep's been great. I've just finished my off season. I've been, lifting, doing field work, making sure I'm conditioned. Now they've released some of the playbooks. I'm just learning the plays, trying to make sure I'm ready for the first day of training camp and go from there, really.
Fellow player at SGS, Isaiah Kleberg, is also signed to Prague. Does it help having a familiar face for you?
Yeah, definitely does. Familiarity helps with comfort. And also one of the players that I'm playing with at Prague, I also played with at the Adler. He was actually one of my housemates in the Adler. He's from the States, so it's going to be good to know a couple of faces to hopefully get settled in quicker.
Well, a huge thank you for taking the time to chat with us, and good luck to the Prague Lions from everyone here at SGS. Now, a look into the ever-growing world of esports. Our reporter Eddie had the chance to chat with Zach, a student at SGS, about balancing his studies while competing in Pro Overwatch.
So my dad played games like all of his adult life, and when I was probably about 4 years old, he introduced me to, I think it would be CS 1.6. Played that with my dad until Overwatch released. Started playing that in season 2, and just kept playing and got a high rank one day, and discovered that I could maybe make something of it. So here I am.
What is it like balancing professional Overwatch with college and studying and completing assignments?
It's not too bad. The college commitment isn't too much, so I can spend all my time getting my work done and also have time for the game on the side.
Could you walk us through what a standard day would look like for you in terms of college work and then scrims and matches?
Sure. So about 4 days a week, I'm waking up about I'd say 7:30, coming into college, doing the lessons, lectures, whatever. Then takes about an hour and 20 minutes to get home. Then I've got normally about 4 hours of scrims a night, and then during regular season I'll have 2 officials a week on Monday and Wednesday, and that's normally 8 PM and lasts until like 9:30ish.
Gwilla is just one of the many people looking to break into the esports scene and play professionally in the Overwatch Champions Series. But how do you go from casually playing to lifting trophies with your team? Here's a quick look into how esports works. Esports is the industry behind competitive and professional gaming. Most people started off by playing a game for fun, like Willa initially did, and then discovered the esports scene behind their game and worked towards tier 1 of an esports. In many cases, games use tournament providers like Face It League to host competitions where players can climb through different divisions and make their way to Tier 1 of an esport, or in this case, the Overwatch Champions Series. If you are lucky enough to make it to the top of an esport, you will have a certain schedule that your team will follow to help you work together and improve your skills, with the main parts being scrims and VOD reviews. Scrims are where you play non-official games against other teams as practice, where you can try out new strategies or see how you play against future opponents. VOD reviews are usually done after scrims or matches and include watching back the games while looking at positive moments as well as anything that needs improving. Now, back to the interview with Quilla. What are some of your current career highlights and sort of top 5 moments while you've been competing?
Probably the tournament wins, to be honest. Winning any tournament is really, really fun. Definitely like the highlight of competing. Probably the best one would have been the Andromeda, which was the Spanish tournament, because we really weren't favourites to win that. There were probably 3 teams that were favoured over us, and we still managed to win, which is really good.
What are sort of the future goals and things you would like to achieve? You planning open WCS? You planning Overwatch World Cup?
So OWCS is the goal, but it's pretty hard to reach since they cut the limit from 8 to 6 teams, and it's really hard to get into. Basically, relying on players who are currently there to retire. And playing for the UK World Cup team would be really, really cool. But again, that's quite hard to get into because of how close the current players are in that team. I stream officials on my Twitch, which is Quilla_OW, and my Twitter is Quilla_OW as well.
It was great to hear from Zach there, and we wish him the best of luck in the future. Well, that's all we've got time for here on The Pathway. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show and have a great rest of your day.